Hey, this is Dan from Meraki. Today we are making a shakshuka. It's traditional cuisine from North Africa. It's got great flavors and it's good to eat in the morning, evening, or late at night. Serve it with bread or optional feta cheese and goat cheese. It's fantastic. I know you'll enjoy it.
We will need 4 eggs, 1 red bell pepper, 1 yellow onion, 3 cloves of garlic, a small bunch of parsley, a small bunch of cilantro, a jar of crushed tomatoes, 2 teaspoons of paprika, half a teaspoon of ground chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, sea salt, some fresh ground black pepper, and some olive oil. Let's start with our garlic. We're going to take a clove, cut down both ends, give it a little crush, and then we're going to remove the paper. It should be fairly simple. Then we cut lengthwise, a couple of slits, and then widthwise, we're just going to slice down into little squares. And we're going to repeat with the last 2 garlic cloves. There we go, and we're just going to put it into a bowl. To this bowl, we're also going to add our paprika, our chili powder, and our cumin. And we just dump them in, and they'll be ready to throw into the pan when we need. Now we're going to take our parsley and our cilantro. We're going to cut off the ends. Again, we can save them for a different recipe. We roll up the leaves and just roughly chop. That's it. Now for a bell pepper. We're going to cut off the top, cut off the bum, and then we're going to run a slit down the side and run the knife along the seed bundle. Pretty easy, right? Now we just take off the little stem. Again, we pick up our knife and we're just going to cut the flesh in half. If we want, we can cut off the little ribs. I don't mind them, so here you go. I'll cut them off for you, and I'll leave the other half for me. There we go. We're going to cut them into strips, and then cut the strips into cubes. We're going to take the pepper bum, cut it into little strips, and again into cubes. And we're going to do the same thing with the top. Cut into strips, and then cut into cubes. Done. Now all we do is just put it into a bowl. For our yellow onion, we're going to cut off the ends, bop, bop, and then we're going to run the knife down the side and remove the skin. Next, we cut in half, and then just like the garlic, we're going to cut some slits down lengthwise, and then cut widthwise. Once we get to the end, we're just going to roughly chop it. Let's gather it all up, and then we're going to put into the bowl with red pepper. Now we're going to get a pan. Cast iron works best, mind you, but I didn't have one. What we're going to do is just pour the oil in, let it heat up, and then we're going to coat the bottom evenly. There you go, just a little shakes and that's fine. Now when the oil's hot enough, we're going to put in our pepper and onion. Next, we take a half yellow, half wooden spoon that someone made curry with, obviously, and we're going to stir. And we're going to stir it until soft. It should only take 1 or 2 minutes. Once soft, we are going to add in our garlic and spice plate. We're just going to dump it in and saute until aromatic. We're only going to do this for about 30 seconds. When you start smelling the cumin and smelling the garlic, you know it's about time. But make sure everything's incorporated and make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom of the pan. You don't want those spices to burn. Once fully incorporated and aromatic, we're going to dump in our tomatoes. Now we're just going to stir and incorporate. Make sure you're scraping off all the spices from the bottom of the pan just in case. You don't want anything to burn and give you a bitter flavor. It would wreck your lunch, dinner, whatever the hell this is to you. Next, we are going to add our pepper. We're going to add our salt. And we're just going to mix it in. And we're just going to keep stirring until fully incorporated. Everything is mixed nice and even. That was a sexy hand, eh? Probably attached to a sexy guy. Yeah, it is. Once our sauce has been simmering for about 5 to 7 minutes, I don't want the tomatoes to be fully broken down, mind you. I want some texture. But we're going to give it a final mix. And what we're going to do is dig some wells with our spoon and crack our eggs within those wells. Don't be scared that they're going to fill up with the liquid again, but you're pushing over the chunky vegetables. So the eggs will just slide right in and create nice pockets. Once we've cracked all our eggs into our sauce, we're going to put a cover on the pan. And we're going to only let it simmer with the lid on for about 5 minutes. Any longer and it's going to be hard yolk, and we don't want that. I crack eggs with one hand, but I need 2 hands to put on a lid. Go figure. In about 5 minutes, we can lift up the lid and we can see that all the water is rising to the top, but the veg is on the bottom. So it will be thicker than it looks. Anyway, it's about ready now. What we're going to do is season one more time with a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. And now we can add our parsley and cilantro mix. As an option too, we could add goat cheese or feta cheese, because I'm going to eat this after, right? This is not just for show. So I like goat cheese, I'm going to add a little bit of goat cheese to it. The residual heat should be enough to soften up the cheese, but if you would like to soften it up even further, add the cheese in 2 minutes into cooking the eggs. I'm also going to add a tiny bit more parsley and a tiny bit more cilantro for myself. And here you go, our shakshuka. Plate it and enjoy. Break open the yolk and let it cascade. I said cascade, God. Yeah, there we go. Sexy, beautiful, and fantastic.